What if the greatest rebellion isn't against the world, but against the parts of yourself you've abandoned for others? Let's have a real talk about reclaiming your power from a life where your true voice whispers, unheard beneath layers of expectation. Please think about this deeply. What if the very act of constantly trying to be understood by others is actually erasing you? Because, my friend, it is. For so long, my blueprint for navigating the world was simple: always be the quiet yes and offer an easy smile. I genuinely thought that if I could just perfectly meet everyone else's wants, unconditional support would be my reward. But the painful truth is that when I dared share my struggles, my realities in life, my marriage, my parenting, even just who I was becoming as a person, the very acceptance I was chasing wasn't what came back. I remember one specific conversation with a friend who asked me how my husband and I had stayed married for so long. As I began to find the courage to open up and share a small, vulnerable part of a challenge we had overcome, she gave me a quick, "Oh no, couldn't be me," before I could even finish. The air left my lungs, and in that instant, the silence that followed felt louder than any argument. I realized my story wasn't a gift of trust. It was just a burden to quickly be brushed aside. If you've ever felt that sting, if you've ever felt like your truth was dismissed so easily, please just lean in and feel it for a moment. Take that hurt and notice how it makes you feel like you have to justify your life or even stand up for yourself. They say you don't have to explain your existence, but the truth is, for so long we've been taught that we do. We've been conditioned to believe that our worth is found in others' understanding, that our belonging is conditional on our ability to fit neatly into a box. That need to justify our choices, our past, our present, and our future is a learned mechanism for social survival. It's a reflex from a lifetime of seeking permission to be exactly who we are. But the moment we give into that reflex, we give away all of our power. Think about it. You explain your thoughts, your feelings, your boundaries, not because you want to share from a place of authenticity, but because you feel you have to justify your existence and your choices. You soften your truth, dilute your genuine feelings, all to avoid the discomfort of others. You rehearse your words, meticulously crafting them so that no one gets the wrong idea, so you can maintain that fragile sense of external approval. But here's the raw, unfiltered truth you probably don't want to hear. Every single time you explain yourself in the desperate hope of being accepted or understood, you abandon a little piece of who you truly are. And the painful irony, most of the time, the very people you're bending over backwards to explain yourself to aren't even truly listening. They're often caught up in their own world, their own perspectives. The journey to your authentic self, to your greatness, often requires a willingness to step away from the need for constant validation. As the brilliant Friedrich Nietzsche once said, those who walk their own path must be willing to do so alone. In a world obsessed with validation, the real rebellion is silence. That feeling inside you, the voice that knows your strength, that's not a flaw. That's the fire of your potential waiting to be ignited. It's the sign of the incredible person you are destined to become. Take that pain, the sting of those dismissive words, the exhaustion of living for others, and convert it into your purpose. It's time to gently but firmly nudge that unsure version of you to the side. They served a purpose. Perhaps maybe they were a shield, but now it's time to let your true self emerge. Embrace the quiet, trust your inner voice, and stop seeking permission to be who you are. The path to your greatness is waiting, and it starts the moment you decide that your validation is the only one that truly matters. You are worthy, you are important, and your growth, it is absolutely essential. Enjoy your journey, and I'll see you on the next one.